What up, you guys? How y'all doing? I have returned for another video, but this time it is not a recap video of the UH men's basketball team or anything related to Monster Energy Supercross. Unfortunately, I come out with this video to pay tribute to a well-known name in Hawaii TV news. As most of you all know, I have a degree in journalism from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And as someone who's 36 years old, there is no way that I was going to be living this life without knowing one of the most recognizable people in Hawaii TV history. I'm going to put up my banner here. So, as I said, today is a somber day for news people in the state of Hawaii. That's right. Emme Tomimbang Burns, whom Hawaii people like myself would affectionately know her as Emme, just by her first name. She was one of the first people that I remember watching on TV when I was a little kid back in the early 90s. Because a lot of you all know that as someone who was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s, these are names. If you're in your home state with your local news, these are the names that you never ever forget. You know, whether it's Emme Tomimbang or Robert Kekaula or anybody else, you just never forget that. You just never forget the impact that they leave on people's lives. Unfortunately, I didn't really know Emme Tomimbang Burns all that well. But I will say, though, when I was a student at UH Manoa, granted this was four or 5 years ago, she was a guest speaker for my Journalism 330 class in 2019. And I have to say that when I first heard the name, I was like, holy smokes, I remember that name from TV back in the day. But she was an icon. She started at KITV4 in the early 70s and then went to KHON2. I think that's how I remember Emme Tomimbang's name, because she was with KHON2 when I was growing up. And unfortunately, she had passed away at 73 years old due to complications of open heart surgery. That was what my local news had said. But you know, I just thought I'd keep this pretty short today. And so she became a household name in Hawaii TV, along with her husband, who was a Hawaii Circuit Court judge, I believe. I forget what his name was, but my dad actually remembered when Emme Tomimbang was on TV. She was actually at our local track, Kahuku Motocross Park, and rode a dirt bike herself. It was a kind of like a peewee bike, but that was way before I was born. And only the good people in Hawaii would remember that for sure, because that was before my time. And though, like I said, you just never forget those kind of people or things, or the things that they do. And I say this because I remember when Robert Kekaula was still alive and he did the Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014. And the way that he did it was so epic. You just couldn't help but laugh at the things that he said and did. And those moments were just golden. If you didn't witness those on your local TV stations with your local TV anchors, you missed out on some good stuff. And I know that the Ice Bucket Challenge doesn't seem that long ago, but really it was. But like I said, you just never forget these names. And I am certainly not going to forget Emme Tomimbang Burns for as long as I live. She was one of the first people I can remember watching on TV, like I was saying earlier. You also never forget, as someone like me, you never forget old people like Pamela Young, Gary Sprinkle, or even the late Sharie Shima when she did weather for KITV4 and then moved over to KHNL News 8. Those are names that just really stick with you to pretty much the end of time. And obviously you can tell that I was gutted by today's news. But like I said, I didn't know Emme Tomimbang all that well. I met her once when, like I said, when she was a guest speaker in 2019 in my journalism 330 class. And I won't forget her on the TV for as long as I live. That's for sure. I just not really. It hasn't really hit me as hard as say when Robert Kekaula did when Robert Kekaula passed away so unexpectedly in 2021. And Robert Kekaula was only 56 years old. And I guess it's true. Only the good die young. And Emme Tomimbang Burns was 73 years old. Oh, that's still too young, and that's still too young in my view. I mean, you just never know when things like this happen. They happen so out of the blue. And of course, like I said, you just never forget these names, like Robert Kekaula, Jim Leahy. I mean, unless you're geared to sports like I am, those are names that you don't forget. And I know that she wasn't part of the sports department, but still, if you watch regular news religiously like I did, whether it's your local ABC affiliate or Fox affiliate or whatever, you never forget the impact that these people left on your lives. So you never forget them, like Jim Leahy, Robert Kekaula, Sharie Shima, Pamela Young, Gary Sprinkle, Paula Akana. And this is all names just off the top of my head for local Hawaii TV people. So Godspeed to her family. And I'll see you all soon. So thanks, guys. Remember, subscribe, and I'll catch you all later. Malama Pono, everyone.